Our society has made us think of coming up with great business ideas like this light bulb moment that we see in Cartoon Network, or that turning moment in the movie where someone comes up with a brilliant idea that's going to change the course of the future. But surprise, surprise, most great ideas don't come from a light bulb. And there are active strategies that you can use today to come up with killer business ideas. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the elements of a great idea and different strategies you can use to come up with great business ideas today. What's up, startup friends? Christian Peverelli here, co-founder of We Are No Code. This channel is fully dedicated to teaching tips and tricks for non-technical entrepreneurs to build their businesses and scale them. And so before I get into this, if you could subscribe, turn on the notifications, and like, comment, share this with anyone you'd like. Ideas, 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 ideas. It seems that everyone we meet these days, including our Uber driver, has an amazing idea that's going to completely revolutionize the world. Now, there are really three key elements to any good and full idea. So in every great idea, there is a problem. And if you don't know what it is, for example, like TikTok, well, it's simply the problem of being bored. Now, the second component of a great idea is a customer. Get very specific about the customer that you are targeting with this idea, who has that specific problem. And of course, the third element is the business model, which allows us to capture the value of a customer and charge him so that we can transform our charity into a business. And now, my friends, you're ready to talk about three different approaches to coming up with great ideas. Now, the first one is the problem-based approach to coming up with business ideas. And most businesses are around to solve a specific problem, and that's why people are willing to pay for them. So I want you on a daily basis to start coming up with at least three problems. It could be a problem that you have at work. It could be a problem getting to work. It could be a problem that you see other people having. It could be a problem that you personally have. Now, at the beginning, it's going to be very easy to come up with the first 5 days worth of problems, right? We all have problems in our life. However, on the 25th day out of those 30 days, it's going to be much more difficult to come up with problems. Now, at the end of those 30 days, you're going to have a number of ideas, and you want to pick the top 10 ideas from that list of ideas. And then what we're going to do is put them in a comparative chart where we're going to identify how often does this problem happen? How severe is this problem? How well suited am I to solve this problem? How many people have this problem in the market? And which one of those ideas am I passionate about? Now, we're going to rate each one of those criteria between 1 and 10 for each one of the 10 ideas that we've shortlisted. And at the end of that, we should have a good idea of the top 3 ideas that we want to start taking action on today. So for frequency, for example, you would give a 10 if that's something that happens several times a day or several times an hour. You would give it a 1 if it happens only once in your entire lifetime. And remember, once you've come up with those ideas, make sure to attach them to a business model and a specific customer as well, so you have a complete idea. Now, the second way we can quickly come up with great ideas is to go through the thought experiment of, wouldn't it be great if? Now, if we use Uber as an example, the way that that company was founded and the idea came up was when two people in Silicon Valley, Travis and his partner, got together and just asked themselves a question at lunch. Wouldn't it be great if you could call a limousine with the click of a button? And so the idea was not at first to replace all taxis. It was really just about creating this thought experiment around, wouldn't it be great if? And remember, one of the key words here is great. If it's just okay, if it's just kind of good, it's not going to be good enough, right? But if you think that something is great, it's very possible that there's a segment of the market or a customer base that's going to think the same thing. Now, the third strategy comes from Peter Thiel, who is one of the founders of PayPal, also considered a member of the PayPal Mafia in Silicon Valley. And it comes from a book that he wrote called 0 to 1, where he asks founders a very clear question. What great business in the future is not being built today? So the best way to dissect this is, first of all, by thinking of what we think the future holds. And so let's start by thinking about things which we think will take place in the future. What does that look like? What are trends? So for example, self-driving cars, or augmented reality lenses. Or it might be as simple as people won't walk their own dogs anymore, or everyone will be working remote jobs. And then we want to think which one of these things is not being worked on today. And on top of that, we can start thinking about what are the needs that will start coming up from some of the things that we know other companies are working on. So what do I mean by that? And so every larger change comes with a bunch of other smaller changes, and each one of those changes presents an opportunity to build a company. So if you start thinking of the needs that come behind some of these trends, you'll be able to identify and write down some startup ideas. And so now I want to ask you, what is the commonality between Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, or Groupon? Well, the reality is that all of them started off as pretty terrible ideas. So that's where we really have to think that also we can accept the fact that our ideas will evolve along with time as we start testing the market and as we start realizing what the need specifically is. So the idea behind Facebook was simply to compare the attractiveness between students at universities. Groupon started as a website to raise funds for charity, and Instagram started off as Bourbon, one of the 10,000 apps that allowed you to show and to check into a new place when you arrived. And so my big point is that ideas are important, and you do want to identify a very good idea to go after at first, but you also have to understand that these ideas will transform over time as we bring the ideas to market, and that's why execution is way more important than the idea itself. I hope that was helpful. If you want to check out other videos, you can see some here. Subscribe to this channel so that we can see you in the next one. Take care and have a great day. Let's go.